Mosul. The city is liberated, and most parts are totally in ruins. The victory over Islamic State at an abominable price. An Ilyushin 76 has landed in Kurdistan near Erbil. This cargo plane brings tons of relief: baby food, diapers and medicine from Germany. An aid organization from Frankfurt, Wings of Help, has organized the transportation. 4 members of the staff are involved on site, beneath Frank Franke, founder and chief of Wings of Help. A huge amount of work is involved here to have a cargo plane come into the area of crisis. Now it's here, all the diapers, the milk and food. We know since our last visit how desperately the supplies are needed here. Originally, Hassan Sham was the name of the village for the Arabic residents. Now very damaged, and on its outskirts, the refugee camp Hassan Sham was built. It's been a year since the first visit by the LOG team. At this visit, Michael Reit, the LOG IT specialist, is escorting the president of the organization. The scenery is unreal, the village totally in ruins and uninhabited. The residents fled even after ISIS was driven out of the area. Some feared for their lives because of being collaborators of Kurdish minority. Who will ever know who and why? The entire area is still full of booby traps. How often have you been on these missions? This is my second tour. What are your feelings? I just hope that the situation in the camps has become a little less strained. One is pent up. What are your expectations? I hope that we're instrumental to bring some hope and perspective for the future for the refugees. Hassan Sham is operated by the Bassani Charity Foundation, an organization closely connected to the government of the region of Kurdistan. Frank Franke and his team are being informed how and when the aid supplies are being distributed. In the meantime, Michael Reit transports the first relief aid, the computers, into the public hall. A separate room is hastily prepared to become the new computer school. If all goes by his plan, the school will open in just a few days. What are you doing here? We're setting up a computer network to the effect that students cannot disturb anything. A little hotspot and a place of learning. How many computers have you brought? We brought 10 laptops and hopefully we'll have WLAN and of course power.
WLAN ist, ob überhaupt Netz ist, das sehen wir gleich. Und ja, jetzt gucken wir erstmal, dass auch Strom da ist. Aber das haben wir ja schon gesagt bekommen, dass er da ist, ja?
The children from Hassan Sham react spontaneously and are fascinated. Computer, that is the window into a different world, maybe even for a better future. The city of Erbil, capital city of the region of Kurdistan, Iraq, seems to be much further away from the wretchedness of Mosul, more than the 80 kilometers displayed on the speedometer. High-rises, luxury hotels, air-conditioned shopping centers. Frank Franke wants to make some more purchases here in this supermarket of a French chain.
I think these ones are really nice, huh?
Yes,
Children's sizes.
Nice, yeah.
I would say nice, huh?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Maybe a little bit smaller also?
These are smaller.
What are you doing here? At the camp we saw children running around without shoes. Today's temperatures are over 120 degrees, and the grounds are surely more than 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Someone asked a child of 5 or 6 why it wasn't wearing shoes. The answer, it had none. So we are here to shop flip-flops to keep the feet of the little ones from scorching. This is something also to keep us grounded. Just a friendly gesture, a pair of sandals, like a drop in a bucket, but still.
17, 18, 19.
All done. Frank Franke pushes the shopping cart towards the checkout, but then a stand with special bargains is blocking his stride. I'm going weak. Little shirts. This one is good. This is my time. How fitting.
Das ist irgendwie gut. Es sagt, now is my time. Jetzt ist meine Zeit. Und das ist gut. Das ist ein wirkliches Kinderwort. Schon deshalb nehmen wir jetzt noch ein paar davon mit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
7, 8, 15.
Die nehmen wir auch noch mit.
We'll take these too.
Salam alaikum.
Salam, rahmatullah, barakatuh.
Salam, my friend.
شلونك زين؟
How are you? Very hot,
The children are here running around. No shoes, no sandals, and the grounds are far hotter than today's temperature of 108 degrees Fahrenheit. These are good news. The residents of this camp have at least brick-built huts, which replace the tents. They say welcome. We are being welcomed.
He has been here.
He's been living here for the last 5 months. Where does he come from? From the west side of Mosul.
West of Mosul.
West of Mosul.
Yeah, west of Mosul. شبيله صغير عليك؟
تمام.
The t-shirts fit. So do the flip-flops. Well, more or less.
تمام. يلا كرم يلا يلا.
I am absolutely convinced that the only chance we have to keep these people from taking their children and keep running is to give them here perspective, education, and a decent life. This has long been neglected. People should say, this is our country, our homeland. We want to stay here and rebuild. The next morning, the leading convoy of the relief goods from our cargo flight arrives at the camp, bringing the first segment to Hassan Sham. The baby food and medicines will follow as soon as the local government offices have screened the paperwork. And the computer school begins. A festive opening is organized by the Barzani Foundation.
3, 2, 1, cut!
Local media are attending the opening. A computer school in a refugee camp. This is sensational news in an area since the Iraq-Iran wars nearly 40 years ago. Good news blanking out the horror stories. If there's one way out of Hassan Sham, out of squalor and fanaticism, that will begin in the heads of these children. And, Michael, is it working? How do you feel? We installed everything and the little ones can really learn now. It's a good feeling.
Ja, schönes Gefühl.
In front of the new computer school, a distribution station for diapers is being set up. Hundreds of mothers with infants and small children are lining up in this terrible heat. The staff is checking all documents for the registered babies. Finally, the first part of the supplies is arriving from the airport. How do you feel at this moment? We've just been informed that the temperature today is over 108 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually feel fine. After the difficulties which occur prior to the mission is now the point that we think we've done everything right. The LOG team always monitors distributions of relief aid. Also, Markus Dietz is helping. He is an entrepreneur from southern Germany. He aided this mission with a donation. It is a humanitarian catastrophe here, and the people need help. It's an absolutely no-go to do nothing, and this is the reason I came along, and I'm positively surprised that all is so well organized. Support here is really functioning. The reason for it is the long-term routine of the local staff and volunteers. If one thinks about it, a very good sign.